Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, the place where we make fun of the morons we see out here on the road. It's also the place you'll get to see more nuts than what you'll find in a family pack of Snickers. A bit like this one who just pulls straight out in front of 44 tonnes of moving steel. Or this successful driver. Yeah, he succeeds every day in disappointing his parents and letting everybody know what a massive backwards Joe Blunt he is. Or maybe this real damp sleeping bag who Chris encountered the other day driving on the wrong side of the road, whose gene pool obviously got pissed in one too many times and is definitely overdue a filter change. And then there's always those low capacity drivers that drive down a dual carriageway the wrong way at night, displaying the navigational and directional ability of a guppy was just swum into the path of a sperm whale's fart. Now if you was on a dual carriageway and a truck is blocking the right hand lane and a bus is blocking the left hand lane, where are you going to overtake? That's right, you're going to have to wait. Well, that is unless your brain's as useless as sunscreen in Siberia and you think your car is as narrow as you're narrow-minded and it will just squeeze between that truck and the Armco barrier in a gap that isn't there. I wonder if people like that wake up in the morning and say, I know I normally look stupid, but today I'm going to be fucking spectacular. Watch this. And why, mate, he's sitting in the outside lane in that truck, God only knows. Now, it's one thing when a driver is cognitively disadvantaged, but when they've also got the visual ability of a vet's hand up a cow's arse, this is the end result. But come on, let's be fair, that car would be easy to miss. Look, brilliant white, driving with the headlights on. Yeah, that'd be about as easy to miss as a fist in the face. Here's Nick, the old school trucker, and as you can see, stopped at these red traffic lights, which is what we all do because we're normal people. But if you drive a BMW and your right foot is the only part of your anatomy that functions correctly, then you've got more chance of finding a condom machine in the Vatican than stopping at a red light. This is a view from Sean's house, and as you can see, there's the rubbish truck. And let's just take a second to say a big thank you to all the bin men and the people who take away our rubbish. You do a brilliant job and we appreciate you all. But one person who certainly isn't appreciated is this backwards impatient non-reader who can't be bothered to wait 1 minute for the rubbish truck to pass, so he drives on the pavement, narrowly missing that bin man there. That dunce right there has got all the mental structure of a dropped wedding cake. This from Locke, and you'll see a car up ahead, he's turning right. Nothing unusual there at all, cars turn right all the time, but normally when they turn right they indicate right and not left. That right there is a sort of plank who shines a torch up in the sky to watch fireworks. Here's Alan M about to go round this rather dark roundabout, but the darkness of this roundabout pales into insignificance compared to the dimness of this cretin who just pulls straight out in front of him, displaying the mental stability of a three-legged matchstick Zimmer frame. Here we go, white Audi, black windows, just cruising along, but upon sensing he was about to be overtaken, he instantly returned to default Audi driving style, which is flat out and senseless. It's the van in front and goes from flat out to flat broke in 2 seconds. His parents told him he could be anything he wanted to be. Sadly, he chose to be a disappointment. Here's Candy Butcher 69, and as we can see, he's stopping at the red traffic light, but unfortunately, the crayon-eating mug was in front of him. He's not stopping for nothing. But he's not the only driving delinquent. Oh no, he's followed closely behind by 4 travelling companions who are definitely not in the Menzies Hall of Fame. Now, I may be being optimistic here, but I do feel with a lot of hard work on their part, they could reach an IQ level that Mr. Bean would be proud of and maybe even reach idiot status. This one's from Shabra. Now, just keep your eye on this police car on the left. Watch what he does to avoid these traffic lights. Comes up to the red light, goes off to the left via the green filter light, then does a little U-turn and comes back out on his green light and he's back on his way. Now, even though that move was as slippery as a bar of soap in a prison shower, technically, nothing illegal, nothing wrong. What do you lot reckon? Here we are on board with Ed riding his bike, but unfortunately for him, the driver next to him in the van is not on board with using common sense and uses his wing mirrors less than Frosty the Snowman would use a blow-eater by all accounts. And here's another biker, Jimmy 6969. I love all my bikers. Stay safe out there, boys and girls. But staying safe is easier said than done when you've got some real half-charged battery driving his Merc, squeezing past you at over 70 mile an hour, who don't care if you end up brown bread as long as he's in front. Here we are on board the truck. Now, trucks are about 16 foot tall and about 8.5 foot wide, so pretty easy to see and pretty hard to miss, to be fair. Unless, of course, you ate loads of paint chips when you was younger and you got the visual ability of a spider in a matchbox. Dear, oh dear. But on the other side of the coin, you could see he was going to do that from a long way off, couldn't you, really? Once upon a time in the village of Duntsville, a baby was born. A few decades later, he learned to drive a truck. And now he spends his day driving through red traffic lights and making himself look like a massive Joe Blunt. Big truck, small IQ. Now, the driver of this truck you're about to see did say that the brakes failed, but later admitted dangerous driving in court. Unfortunately, 2 people were seriously injured in this, and I'll put the link to the news article relating to this down in the description below. This from Rob B, and nothing quite lets people know your stature in the community and your level of success like driving a Bentley. But on the other hand, nothing quite says I'm a real shallow paddling pool like driving that Bentley flat out, nearly missing your junction, having to cut from right to left like a right bellend. So from South Africa to Ireland with Steo the Red, the home of Guinness, the Giant's Causeway, beautiful scenery, and some drivers are as thick as a castle wall, or as the locals would call him, a feckin' Egypt. And there's your man, Keith C, another one from Ireland, Antrim town this time. And of course, no town is complete without a proper garden tool in an Audi who does not know how to join a dual carriageway. If that donut was any less intelligent, you could throw a stick and he'd bring it back. Guys, if you like what you've seen and I put a smile on your face, can you do me a little favour and hit that little like and subscribe button down below if you haven't done it already, please? It's free and it really does help me out. Thank you. Oh, and stay tuned till the end and I'll tell you why YouTube deleted me video yesterday. I reckon dogs would make better drivers than some of these mugs we're watching these videos, like this guy in the white car T-bones him in the side and sends matey up on the pavement. Here's Peter on, he's just waiting for these lights to change. There he goes, he can go. No, he can't go because here comes Diana Rod, the silly sod, in his Dayglow disaster van, making being stupid look easy. Here's Jeff Sin, he's just spotted Father of the Year on his illegal e-scooter, riding straight in front of him with his kid on the front. You got to ask yourself, at what point do these low-capacity, backwards delinquents think this is acceptable and safe for me to carry my child like this? So this clip is from Amanda's friend Miles. Now, Mr. Magoo on the right here is a perfect example of what is wrong with the majority of car drivers on the road today. Yeah, this smooth-brained bottom feeder thinks it's perfectly acceptable and fine to drive down the pavement and park on the grass outside someone else's house whenever you feel like it, just because it suits you. Yeah, we need more drivers like this on the road, like we need more Cold War-era nuclear reactors or barbed wire toilet seats. And there's a few more brainless gimps who think they can just park where you like. You don't need to put your car in a bay. And look at this mug. That's real Stonehenge block thickness right there, isn't it? And then we got Buttplug Bill here displaying the mental agility of a concussed cockroach, parking on the zigzag, and he's got an L plate on there. Who's he going to teach to drive? SpongeBob? And here's another mentally challenged individual who's obviously disorientated due to the fact that everything on the outside looks very different to how a padded cell looks, goes on the wrong side of the road straight through the junction and into another car. So we're on board with Steve T in his truck on a very busy motorway, as we can all see. But heavy traffic on the motorway ain't really a problem when you're a low-capacity mouth breather. Pulls to the left to have a look, see what the hard shoulder's like. Notice it resembles the inside of his skull, empty and devoid of any life whatsoever, and just goes on his merry way. This from Keith G, and just have a look at this backwards knuckle-dragging delinquent. He does about 400 or 500 quid's worth of damage to this Merc A180 just to nick a rear parcel shelf what you can get off eBay for about 70-80 quid. Now this is up in the Finchley and Barnet area this is going on. So if you see this backwards prick in your street, be careful. Here's Alex on his way home. He's had a long day, he's tired, he just wants to go home, relax, have a cold beer, do you know what I mean? Maybe watch one of my videos while he's relaxing, having his beer. Last thing he needs is some fetus-brained muppet nearly taking out the front of his car as he's going round the roundabout. Mind you, nice to see that the van is adorned with the correct signage, BEW, Bellend Wanker. Right, a quick update about yesterday. As some of you already know, my video got deleted by YouTube for what they called harmful and dangerous content. Now, the video was exactly the same as all my other videos, but I'm presuming it was because of all the bikes face planting and crashing and stuff. Now, apparently, YouTube have made a load of changes to their community guidelines, hence the very informative and very educational captions in the top left-hand corner. So I'm really sorry, guys, but there are no two-wheel morons this week. Until I can find out what I'm allowed to use, what I can post, we're going to have to put up with four-wheel morons. So on that note, I'm going to end it here. Thanks to everyone who sent in clips. If you want to watch some more of my videos, there's a playlist up there on the right. Have a good weekend, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.